What if everything you've been told about success was just the surface? What if the real difference between the average and the exceptional isn't talent, money, or luck, but the way they think, the way they act, and the way they win? Imagine standing in a room where 99% of people settle, and you're the one who rises. Not because you worked harder, but because you learned how to think like the elite, how to move with precision, and how to win with intention. Here's the truth most people never hear. The top 1% don't chase success, they design it. In this audiobook, I'll show you exactly how they do it and how you can too. So if you're ready to stop waiting, stop playing small, and start designing a life that actually reflects your potential, then you're in the right place. Hit that like button and subscribe for weekly breakthroughs that will push your thinking, fuel your ambition, and give you the exact mindset tools to level up in every area of your life. Because the path to your next level starts here. And once you hear this, you can't unhear it. Let's begin. Introduction. Welcome to the top 1% mindset. Welcome to think, act, and win like the top 1%. This audiobook is not just information, it's a transformation. You're about to enter a world where success is not reserved for the few. It's engineered by those who dare to think differently. By the end of this audiobook, you won't just understand how the top 1% operate. You'll start operating that way yourself. You'll rebuild your mindset. You'll replace overwhelm with clarity, distraction with focus, and self-doubt with precise, confident action. You'll learn how to eliminate the noise, break old patterns, and build the kind of habits, systems, and identity that make success inevitable, not optional. This is not about motivation for a moment. This is about building a mindset for a lifetime. So what makes this audiobook different? We're not giving you generic advice or recycled success quotes. You'll get a structured blueprint based on elite performance psychology, habit architecture, and behavior design, all broken down into clear, powerful lessons you can apply immediately. Each chapter is crafted to shift the way you think, feel, and execute, backed by practical exercises and reflection tools in your downloadable companion workbook. This workbook is 100% free and designed to help you go deeper. You'll find self-assessments, habit builders, mental rewiring tools, and real implementation frameworks. Use it alongside this audiobook to maximize your results. If it supports your growth, donations are welcome, and they help keep this mission alive. Now, before we dive into Chapter 1, I want to ask you for one thing. Commit. Not casually, not halfway, but fully. This audiobook only works if you do. So take a deep breath, lock in. Because this isn't just another listen, it's your new standard. Welcome to the top 1%. Chapter 1. Redefining Success, Your New Operating System. Welcome to Chapter 1. Let's begin this journey by doing what the top 1% always do first. Challenge the script the world handed us. Because before you can rewrite your life, you need to uninstall the outdated software it's running on. Let's talk about success. Ask most people what success means, and they'll give you a list, a job title, a salary, a house in a good neighborhood, a car with leather seats, maybe early retirement, maybe freedom. But if you dig deeper, if you really ask people what they're chasing, you'll find something startling. Most people don't actually know. They're chasing what they think they should want, what they were told to want, what everyone else is chasing. And that's exactly why most people stay stuck. Here's the truth. No one teaches us. Success isn't something you find. It's something you define. And if you don't define it for yourself, the world will do it for you. Today, we're going to stop that cycle. You're going to build your own definition of success, one that's aligned with your values, your purpose, and your vision of freedom. So let's dive in. Section 1. Why chasing money alone keeps 99% stuck. We've been sold a narrow idea that money equals success. And don't get me wrong, money matters. It gives you choices. It gives you leverage. It gives you access. But chasing money without clarity leads to a life that looks good on the outside and feels empty on the inside. Because money is a means. It's not the mission. The top 1% understand this. They don't chase money. They build value. They build meaning. They build impact. And the money follows. But here's what they do differently. They begin with clarity. They ask, what do I actually want this money to do for me? Not just what it buys, but what it means. Security, freedom, time, legacy, contribution, autonomy. When you get clear on the purpose, the pursuit becomes powerful. But when money is the goal in itself, it becomes a treadmill. You run harder, but you never arrive. So the question is, what are you really chasing? Is it money or what you think money will give you? Let's go deeper. Section 2. The danger of default definitions. From childhood, we're handed invisible scripts about what life should look like. Graduate, get a job, get promoted. Buy a house, retire someday. Check all the boxes. But success isn't one size fits all. And the moment you measure your life by someone else's ruler, you lose. Because real fulfillment doesn't come from checking boxes. It comes from living in alignment. Alignment with your values, with your priorities, with your definition of a meaningful life. That's the work of this chapter, to bring that definition into the light. Let's move to the next section. Section 3. Building your new operating system. Imagine success was a house. Most people are decorating rooms in a blueprint they didn't design. You're going to build your blueprint from scratch. That means starting with the foundation, your values. What matters most to you? Is it freedom? Is it growth? Is it family? Is it creativity? Is it impact? Take a moment to think about the moments in your life when you felt most alive, most fulfilled, most proud. What values were present in those moments? That's your compass. Now connect those values to a clear vision. Ask yourself, what would my life look like if it was fully aligned with my values? What would success feel like, not just look like, if I was living my truth? What am I no longer willing to sacrifice just to keep up with someone else's version of success? This is where your personal definition begins. It's not about what you do, it's about why you do it, how you do it, and who you become in the process. Section 4. From confusion to clarity. Let's pause here and breathe. Because for many, this is the first time success has been something they got to define on their own terms. And that shift is powerful. When you move from chasing to creating, everything changes. You stop comparing. You start aligning. You stop running. You start building. And most importantly, you begin to experience something rare. Peace with ambition. A drive that's not fueled by fear, but by purpose. You now have the opportunity to live in congruence, where your thoughts, actions, and goals are all moving in the same direction. That's the secret of the top 1%. They don't run faster, they run in alignment. Section 5. Closing reflections and next steps. As you close this chapter, I want to leave you with this. You don't have to wait to feel successful. You just have to define it clearly and begin living it day by day. In your workbook, you'll find a purpose map to help visualize your aligned life. You'll walk through clarity worksheets to eliminate the noise and identify what really matters. And you'll complete a values inventory to build your new operating system, one that guides every decision from this point forward. Use these tools. Go deep. Be honest, because this is your foundation. You can't build a life of freedom, fulfillment, and impact on a blueprint that isn't yours. This is the first step toward thinking, acting, and winning like the top 1%. And now that you've taken it, there's no turning back. Let's move forward. Chapter 2. Think like a visionary, future-driven. Decision-making. Welcome to Chapter 2. Now that you've redefined success on your terms, it's time to step into the mindset of a visionary, someone who doesn't just react to life, but designs it. Because here's the truth. The people who create extraordinary lives aren't the ones with the most talent. They're the ones who think the furthest ahead. They start with the end in mind and build backwards with precision. This is the power of future-driven decision-making. It's how the top 1% operate. And today, you're going to learn how to use it. Section 1. Why the future must lead the present. Most people live in reaction. They make decisions based on pressure, convenience, or fear. What's urgent, not what's important. What's easy, not what's aligned. But visionaries do the opposite. They think 5, 10, even 20 years ahead and use that future as a filter for every decision today. It's not about guessing the future. It's about designing it with clarity. Imagine this. You step into a time machine and land 10 years into your ideal life. You've achieved everything you set out to do. You've become the person you always knew you could be. Now ask yourself, what decisions did that version of you make, starting today, to get there? That's the power of future-driven thinking. You reverse engineer your path by beginning with the destination. Section 2. The end-in-mind mentality. Let's break this down. Top performers don't ask, "What should I do today?" They ask, "Who do I need to become to live the life I want 10 years from now?" It's a different lens, a different standard, a different operating system. They know that short-term decisions shape long-term realities. So they build habits, systems, and environments that support their future, not just their present mood. This is where intentional living begins. So here's a challenge for you. Describe your life in 10 years in detail. Where are you living? What are you doing? How do you feel when you wake up each morning? Who's with you? What impact are you making? Let it be bold. Let it be vivid. Let it be yours. Because clarity creates movement, and vagueness keeps you stuck. Section 3. Enter 10x thinking. Once you visualize the future, it's time to elevate it. This is where 10x thinking comes in. 10x thinking is not just about making things bigger, it's about making them better, faster, and more aligned. The top 1% don't just set goals that are 10% better than last year. They ask, what would it look like to multiply this outcome by 10? Why? Because small goals keep you in your current patterns, but big goals force you to think differently. They break the frame. They challenge your systems. They demand a new identity. If your goal doesn't scare you a little, it's probably not stretching you enough. So let's do this together. Think of a current goal you've set. Maybe it's income, impact, health, or freedom. Now ask, what would it take to 10x that goal? What systems would need to change? What habits would you need to upgrade? What assumptions would you need to let go of? And most importantly, who would you need to become? 10x thinking forces you to innovate, not just iterate. It's how visionaries move out of survival and into scale. Section 4. Living from your future self. Here's where this becomes real. Most people live from the past, repeating the same habits, patterns, and beliefs that created their current reality. But visionaries live from the future. They ask, how would my future self handle this decision? What would they say yes to, and what would they walk away from without hesitation? Start thinking, speaking, and acting as if you already are the person you aim to become. This is not fake it till you make it. This is align until you arrive. The more you align your daily choices with your future identity, the faster you collapse the timeline between who you are and who you're becoming. Remember this, your future isn't found. It's forged choice by choice, moment by moment. Section 5. Closing reflections and next steps. You now understand how the top 1% think. They don't just have vision, they live from it. They don't just make decisions, they make aligned decisions. They don't just chase goals, they expand them with courage, creativity, and conviction. Now, it's your turn. In your workbook, you'll find 2 powerful tools. First, the Vision Statement Builder, where you'll design your 10-year life in vivid detail. Not just the what, but the why. Second, the 10x challenge exercise, where you'll take one current goal and stretch it 10 times bigger. You'll identify the systems, shifts, and identity upgrades needed to move toward that bold vision. Use these tools, revisit them often. Let them evolve with you, because the more you live from your future, the less you'll be controlled by your past. This is how visionaries think. This is how they win. And now, it's how you will too. Let's keep building. Chapter 3. The Mental Code of the Top 1%. Welcome to Chapter 3. You've started defining success on your own terms. You've built a vision that excites and stretches you. Now it's time to confront the one thing that could still sabotage your progress: your beliefs. Because here's the truth. Before the top 1% win externally, they win internally. They install a mental operating system that empowers their choices, their actions, and their outcomes. And today, you will too. Section 1. The invisible force shaping everything. Most people think their life is shaped by circumstances, but the top 1% know their life is shaped by something much deeper: their beliefs. Every decision you make, every risk you avoid, every standard you tolerate, it all comes from the beliefs you've accepted as truth. But here's the twist. Not all beliefs are true. Some are inherited, some are outdated, some were built on fear, not fact. And until you examine them, they will keep running the show. Beliefs are like software. Some help you run faster. Some glitch your system. Some crash it entirely. So the question is, what beliefs are you running on? Section 2. Recognizing limiting beliefs. Let's talk about limiting beliefs. These are the quiet thoughts in the background that sound like, I'm not ready. I'm not smart enough. It's too late for me. I don't have what it takes. They can, but I can't. They often come wrapped in logic, but they're driven by fear. And here's the danger. If you don't question them, you'll build your life around them. So let's pause right now. Think of an area where you feel stuck or small. Now ask, what belief is holding me back in this area? Don't filter. Don't justify. Just name it. Awareness is power. You can't change what you don't confront. Once you spot the belief, you can challenge it, can break it, and that's what we'll do next. Section 3. The Belief Upgrade Process. Let's walk through a process the top 1% use to upgrade their mental code. Step 1. Identify the limiting belief. Example, I'm not good at speaking. Step 2. Ask who gave me this belief. Where did it start? Often you'll trace it to a single moment, a teacher's comment, a childhood experience, or a moment of failure. Step 3. Ask, is this belief universally true? Can I find evidence that proves it wrong? Almost always, the belief starts to unravel. Step 4. Replace it with an empowering belief. Example, I'm becoming a more confident communicator every day. This is not about lying to yourself. It's about choosing beliefs that move you forward instead of keeping you stuck. Top performers update their beliefs like high performers update software. Regularly, intentionally, relentlessly. Section 4. Installing elite mental models. Now, let's go deeper. Beyond beliefs, the top 1% operate using mental models, thought frameworks that guide their decisions and responses. Here are a few powerful ones to begin installing. 1. Everything is figure-outable, no matter the obstacle. There's always a path forward. 2. Obstacles are information. When something feels hard, it's pointing to where growth is needed. 3. My identity is fluid. I'm not fixed. I can learn, evolve, and transform. 4. Discomfort is the price of progress. If I feel resistance, I'm probably in the right place. 5. I create more than I consume. I'm a producer, not just a passenger. These aren't just quotes. These are operating principles. Repeat them. Reflect on them. Act from them. Because when your beliefs align with your vision, you stop hesitating and start building. Section 5. Building your top 1% identity. Your identity is not who you are. It's who you believe you are. And your beliefs will either keep you anchored or they'll set you free. The top 1% create their identity from the future, not the past. They ask, what would a world-class version of me believe about this challenge? Then they choose to believe that on purpose, you can do the same. Here's the simple shift. Stop identifying with your current limitations and start identifying with your future capacity. Don't say, I'm not disciplined. Say, I'm becoming the kind of person who follows through. Don't say, I've never been good at that. Say, that's a skill I'm now building. Language matters. Identity drives behavior, and belief builds both. Section 6. Closing reflections and next steps. You've just unlocked one of the most powerful levers in your transformation. The ability to edit your mental code. No more autopilot beliefs. No more fear-driven assumptions. You now have the tools to upgrade your operating system and build an identity that matches your highest vision. In your workbook, you'll find two powerful tools. First, the limiting belief audit, where you'll identify the beliefs that have been quietly sabotaging your progress. Second, the empowering belief builder, where you'll rewrite those beliefs into powerful, aligned, future-focused truths. Use these tools honestly. Be brave. Say what's been holding you back, and say what you're ready to believe instead. Because the top 1% don't just think differently by accident. They do it on purpose. And now, so will you. Let's keep going. Chapter 4. Identity Engineering. Become who you must be. Welcome to Chapter 4. You've redefined success, cast a powerful vision, and begun upgrading your mental code. Now comes one of the most important and most overlooked shifts you'll ever make, becoming the person your future requires. Because here's the truth, your results are not the problem. Your identity is. In this chapter, we'll engineer a new identity, one that's aligned with the life you're building, not the one you're leaving behind. Let's begin. Section 1. Why identity is the real driver of behavior. Most people try to change their life by changing their actions. They chase new habits. They seek better routines. They want different outcomes. But they skip the most powerful lever of all, their identity. Here's what the top 1% understand. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. Your identity, how you see yourself, determines what you do when no one's watching. It's what you tolerate, what you repeat, and what you avoid. If you still see yourself as undisciplined, no habit tracker will save you. If you see yourself as not a leader, you'll keep hesitating when it's time to step up. So before you try to act differently, you must believe differently. You must become the kind of person who produces the results you want before the results show up. Section 2. The Be to Have model. Most people live by this model. Have, do, be. They think, when I have more time, more money, more motivation, then I'll do the thing. And finally be successful, confident, fulfilled. But the top 1% live by the opposite model. Be, do, have. They decide who they need to become first. Then they start doing what that version of them would do. And eventually, they have the results to match. Identity is not the finish line, it's the foundation. Section 3. Building identity-based habits. Now let's talk about how to build this new identity in real life. Every habit you keep is a vote for the kind of person you believe you are. So instead of focusing on outcomes, ask this question. What would the future version of me do today? Would they snooze the alarm or start the day with purpose? Would they scroll for validation or create something valuable? Would they shrink under pressure or lead with clarity? Your daily choices are casting votes for who you are becoming. Identity isn't something you force, something you build, one small win at a time. Section 4. Your future self isn't someday, it's now. The gap between who you are and who you want to be isn't measured in time. It's measured in behavior. You don't become your future self later. You become them now by acting like them before you feel ready. This is called identity alignment. The top 1% practice this daily. They don't wait to feel confident to take the leap. They leap, and confidence follows. They don't wait for proof to believe. They believe, and create the proof. They reverse the cycle, and that's what makes them unstoppable. Section 5. The power of your internal narrative. Every day, you're telling yourself a story about who you are, what you're capable of, and what's possible for you. This internal narrative shapes your identity more than any external event. If your story is full of doubt, your actions will be full of hesitation. If your story is full of power, your actions will be full of conviction. So here's a challenge. Start rewriting your story. Don't say, "I've always been inconsistent." Say, "I'm learning to follow through." Don't say, "That's just not me." Say, "That's who I'm becoming." Don't say, "I hope I can do this." Say, "I'm already becoming the person who does." Language creates belief, and belief drives behavior. Section 6. Closing reflections and next steps. You're not stuck because of your habits. You're stuck because of who you still believe you are, but you have the power to change that. You're not here to chase your goals with old programming. You're here to upgrade your identity and let the goals follow. In your workbook, you'll find 2 key tools. The Identity Recode Journal, where you'll challenge old labels and write your new self-concept. And the Habit Identity Matrix, where you'll link the person you want to become with the habits that reinforce that identity. Use these tools to start being the future you, now. Because every goal, every breakthrough, every new level begins with identity. And now, you're ready to step into yours. Let's keep building. Chapter 5. Ruthless Focus, Mastering the Art of Deep Work. Welcome to Chapter 5. Let's talk about the most valuable currency in the modern world. No, it's not money. It's not time. It's not talent. It's focus. Because without focus, even your greatest ideas go nowhere. Your time gets consumed. Your talent gets diluted. Your goals stay stuck on paper. But with ruthless focus, you become unstoppable. Today, we'll dive deep into the habits, systems, and mindset required to master the art of deep work and eliminate the distractions pulling you away from your potential. Section 1. The Focus Crisis. We are living in the most distracted era in history. Notifications, emails, social media, constant noise. Everyone wants your attention, and most of them are winning. The average person checks their phone over 150 times a day. They switch tasks every 3 minutes, and every time they do, their brain resets. Creativity drops, energy drains, momentum dies. But the top 1% play a different game. They don't try to do everything. They master doing the right thing deeply, intentionally, and without interruption. They understand this truth. In a world of noise, focus is a superpower. Section 2. The Deep Work Difference. Deep work is not about working harder. It's about working smarter and deeper, creating long blocks of uninterrupted time to think, create, solve, and build. It's how authors write books in months, not years. How entrepreneurs build companies without burning out. How high performers leap ahead while others stay busy. The top 1% don't just hope for focus. They engineer it. They design their environment, their calendar, and their habits to support peak performance. You can too. Section 3. Designing your focus system. Let's start building your system for deep work. Step 1. Choose your daily deep work window. Pick a time each day, even just 60 to 90 minutes, where your energy is highest and your distractions are lowest. This window becomes sacred. Step 2. Protect the window at all costs. Silence your phone, close your tabs, block the noise. Tell others you're not available. Step 3. Create a ritual that signals it's time to focus. It could be a specific playlist, a certain drink, a 5-minute meditation, something your brain associates with, "Now we go deep." Step 4. Know exactly what you're working on. Clarity fuels focus. Don't sit down and then decide. Decide before you sit down. What is the most meaningful task you could do in that window? Do that. Section 4. The mental game of focus. Focus isn't just about removing distractions. It's about managing urges. The urge to check your phone. The urge to jump to a different task. The urge to escape when the work feels hard. You don't need more willpower. You need awareness. Train yourself to pause when the urge hits. Breathe. Stay with the discomfort. Refocus. Top performers don't resist distraction because they're superhuman. They just practice it daily. They build mental discipline like a muscle. And over time, they gain something rare: control over their attention. Section 5. Structuring your day for flow. Want more focus? Then stop treating every hour like it's equal. Structure your day in a way that matches your energy and priorities. Here's a proven model. Morning, deep work and creative output. Midday, collaboration, calls, lighter tasks. Afternoon, admin, reviews, wind-down routines. Batch similar tasks together. Use time blocks. Avoid multitasking. And most importantly, guard your mornings. The first 90 minutes of your day are the most powerful. Use them to create, not consume. Don't open your inbox. Open your vision. Don't scroll. Build, because how you start your day sets the tone for everything else. Section 6. Closing reflections and next steps. Focus isn't a personality trait. It's a decision you make every day. And when you decide to focus, you reclaim your time, your energy, and your life. In your workbook, you'll find 2 powerful tools. First, the Distraction Detox Planner, where you'll audit and remove the hidden drains on your attention. Second, the Focus Ritual Builder, where you'll craft a personalized system for entering deep work consistently. Use these tools to build your focus muscle. 'Cause if you can master your attention, you can master your results. And once you get a taste of deep work, the clarity, the momentum, the flow, you'll never want to go back. Let's keep building. Chapter 6. Emotional Discipline. Control the Inner Game. Welcome to Chapter 6. By now, you've seen that strategy alone isn't enough. You can have the best vision, the clearest goals, and the smartest systems. But if you can't control your emotional state, none of it will matter. Because life will test you. Pressure will rise. Doubts will creep in. Unexpected setbacks will show up at your door. And in those moments, it's not your plans that determine your future. It's your emotional discipline. Today, you'll learn to master your inner game, to respond instead of react, to use your emotional energy as fuel, not friction. Let's dive in. Section 1. Why emotion drives execution. You don't act from logic. You act from state. And your state, your emotional posture in any given moment, determines how you think, what you say, and what you do. When you're triggered, reactive, overwhelmed, or anxious, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your training. This is why emotional discipline is the secret weapon of the top 1%. They don't let emotions drive the car. They let them ride, but they stay behind the wheel. They feel everything, but they're ruled by nothing. Section 2. Reaction versus response. Let's define the difference between reaction and response. A reaction is instant, automatic, emotional. A response is intentional, measured, grounded. When someone criticizes you, do you snap back or pause and choose your words? When plans fall apart, do you spiral or adapt with composure? When you feel fear or doubt, do you avoid the work or show up anyway? The top 1% don't suppress emotion. They manage it. They give their nervous system space to settle before taking action, and that space is where power lives. Section 3. Mastering your triggers. We all have emotional triggers, moments, words, situations that activate old pain or unconscious patterns. The key isn't to eliminate them. It's to understand them. Here's how. Step 1. Name the trigger. Be specific. What situations set you off or shut you down? Step 2. Track your pattern. What's your usual reaction, mentally, emotionally, physically? Step 3. Interrupt the loop. Insert a pause, a breath, a break. Step 4. Reframe and redirect. Ask, what response serves my future self right now? This is how you stop being controlled by emotion and start using it as a tool. Section 4. Feelings are data, not directives. Emotions are messengers, not masters. They show up to signal something, but they don't get to dictate your behavior. Fear says, this matters. Anger says, there's a boundary. Sadness says, you need healing. Excitement says, lean in. The top 1% feel it all, but they know how to translate emotion into aligned action. So instead of resisting the feeling, ask, what is this emotion here to teach me? Then move forward with wisdom, not impulse. Section 5. Building your emotional baseline. Your emotional discipline isn't just tested in hard moments, it's built in the ordinary ones. That's why your baseline matters. How you start your day, how you breathe, how you recover. How you talk to yourself when no one's watching. If you're always overstimulated, overbooked, and under-recovered, you'll break at the first sign of stress. But when you're centered, calm, and intentional, you lead from power, not pressure. The top 1% don't just train their mind, they train their nervous system. They build emotional stamina by building recovery rituals. Meditation, movement, journaling, stillness. Boundaries, silence. These aren't luxuries. They're tools for performance. Section 6. Closing reflections and next steps. Your emotions are not your enemy. They are your edge when you learn to lead them. Emotional discipline doesn't mean shutting down. It means showing up with clarity, strength, and poise, no matter what the world throws at you. In your workbook, you'll find 2 practical tools. First, the emotional trigger tracker to help you recognize your patterns and build self-awareness. Second, the response conditioning tool to create a reliable inner process for navigating stress, fear, or emotional storms. Use these tools often, especially when it's hard. Because the difference between staying stuck and rising up is not how you feel, it's how you respond. Let's keep building. Chapter 7. Fear as Fuel Turning Resistance into Power. Welcome to Chapter 7. Let's be honest, fear isn't just something we all face. It's something we've all been shaped by. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of success, fear of being seen, fear of not being enough. Most people try to avoid fear, ignore it, or push through it. But the top 1% do something radically different. They use it. They turn fear into fuel. They treat resistance like a compass. They don't just push past fear, they grow because of it. And starting today, so will you. Section 1. What is fear really? Fear is not your enemy. It's a messenger. It's the part of you that wants to protect you from pain, from shame, from risk, from the unknown. But the truth is, fear isn't very smart. It doesn't know the difference between real danger and perceived discomfort. It triggers the same fight-or-flight response whether you're running from a tiger or sending a bold email. And unless you learn to see fear clearly, you'll let it make decisions that keep you small. Fear doesn't mean stop. It means look closer. Section 2. The hidden cost of fear-based living. You already know what fear feels like. Tight chest, racing thoughts, second-guessing everything. But do you know what it costs? It costs momentum. It costs clarity. It costs self-trust. It costs your future. Every time you delay because you're afraid to be judged. Every time you stay silent instead of speaking your truth. Every time you shrink instead of step forward, you reinforce a version of you that's smaller than your potential. The top 1% feel fear just like you. The difference? They don't negotiate with it. They act anyway. Section 3. Identifying fear-based patterns. To turn fear into fuel, you must first see where it hides. Fear is sneaky. It wears different masks. Perfectionism, procrastination, overthinking, avoidance, chronic planning with no execution. So here's your challenge. Where in your life are you letting fear dictate your behavior? What goal are you postponing? What truth are you avoiding? What decision are you delaying? Call it out. Name the pattern. Bring it into the light. Because what you don't name, you can't change. Section 4. Fear as a compass. Here's a powerful reframe. Fear isn't the sign you're going the wrong way. It's the sign you're close to growth. The top 1% treat fear like a compass. When it shows up, they lean in. Why? Because fear only shows up at the edge of expansion. It doesn't visit when you're safe. It shows up when you're doing something that matters. So the next time fear whispers, "What if I fail?" you answer, "Then I'll learn." When it says, "What if they judge me?" you say, "That's not my responsibility." When it says, "This is too risky," you say, "That's exactly why it's worth it." Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action with fear in the room. Section 5. Turning resistance into power. Every time you act in spite of fear, you build evidence that you're capable. And that evidence rewires your brain. It builds self-trust. It makes you braver next time. Fear doesn't go away, but your relationship with it changes. You stop seeing it as a wall. You start seeing it as a doorway. The moment you feel resistance, lean in. That's where your growth lives. That's where your next level begins. Section 6. Closing reflections and next steps. You don't need to be fearless. You need to be fear-trained. You don't need to eliminate doubt. You need to act in the face of it. Your fear isn't proof you're not ready. It's proof you're alive. You care. You're stretching. You're growing. In your workbook, you'll find 2 transformational tools. First, the fear inventory, where you'll name the fears running in the background of your life and start to shift their power. Second, the Growth Edge Action Map, where you'll turn fear into a guide and build a path toward courageous action. These tools are meant to be honest, raw, real. Use them to step through fear, not around it. Because on the other side of fear is your freedom. Let's keep building. Chapter 8. Systems over willpower. Automate. Your winning habits. Welcome to Chapter 8. Let's begin with a truth that sets the top 1% apart from everyone else. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. Because motivation is a mood, and moods change, but systems are built to run whether you feel like it or not. If you've ever started strong, only to fall off a few days or weeks later, it's not because you're lazy. It's because you didn't build a system to support the behavior. Today, that changes. We're going to replace willpower with structure, emotion with automation, sporadic effort with consistent excellence. Let's dive in. Section 1. Why willpower isn't enough. You've probably heard it before. Just be more disciplined. Push harder. Want it more? But here's the problem. Willpower is a finite resource. It drains throughout the day. By the time most people get to their most important work, they're running on empty. The top 1% don't try to power through everything. They engineer their environment, schedule, and habits to make success automatic. They understand that friction kills momentum and automation multiplies it. So they build systems that don't require them to be superhuman, just consistent. Section 2. The role of systems. A system is a repeatable process that creates a predictable result. Think about it like this. If success is a destination, then your systems are the tracks that get you there, with or without motivation. Whether it's how you start your morning, how you prepare for deep work, how you wind down at night, everything that matters should have a system. And once it's built, you stop thinking about whether you'll do it. You just do it. That's the magic. Systems remove decision fatigue. They eliminate the question, should I? And replace it with, this is what I do. Section 3. The morning and night routine advantage. Let's start with the bookends of your day, your morning and your evening. These two routines either launch your momentum or kill it before it begins. Morning routine. This is your activation switch. A powerful morning system gets your mind, body, and focus aligned. It doesn't need to be long, but it needs to be intentional. Ask, what 3 to 5 simple actions can you take each morning to prime your performance? Examples: wake up at a set time, hydrate, move your body, review your goals, visualize your future self, journal, avoid your phone. Stack these into a system. Same time, same order, same commitment. Evening routine. This is your recovery system. A way to close the loop, calm your mind, and set the stage for tomorrow. Examples: digital shutdown, stretching, reading, reflection, journaling, planning the next day. Gratitude. Protect this space. It determines the quality of your sleep and, by extension, your energy, focus, and discipline the next day. Section 4. Building your daily systems. Let's design your daily systems blueprint. Step 1. Identify your high-leverage habits, the 20% of actions that produce 80% of your growth. Step 2. Attach those habits to triggers, things you already do daily. This is called habit stacking. Step 3. Remove friction. Make the right thing easy and the wrong thing hard. Step 4. Use cues, environments, or reminders that support consistency. Step 5. Track the system, not for perfection, but for progress. Top performers don't try to do more. They build better loops. Their life is designed to work even when they don't feel 100%. And over time, that's what creates compounding results. Section 5. Automate to liberate. Here's the irony. Systems don't trap you. They free you. They free your mind from decision fatigue. They free your time from wasted energy. They free your potential from inconsistency. The top 1% don't rely on being on every day. They build systems that make their baseline better than most people's best days. Your job is not to be perfect. It's to be systemized. Because when your success habits run on autopilot, you save your willpower for the big moves, the creative leaps, the bold decisions, the meaningful risks. Section 6. Closing reflections and next steps. It's time to stop hoping for consistency and start building it. Your future is not built by occasional inspiration. It's built by daily implementation. In your workbook, you'll find 2 essential tools. First, the Daily Systems Blueprint, where you'll design your ideal morning and evening routines. Identify key habits and set triggers that automate them. Second, the Automation Checklist to help you build systems in your environment, schedule, and digital life that support your goals on autopilot. Use these tools to create your rhythm. Because once your systems are in place, the results take care of themselves. Let's keep building. Chapter 9. Strategic Action: How the 1% Execute Differently. Welcome to Chapter 9. Let's be clear. Being busy is not the same as being productive. Most people are overwhelmed, overextended, and underperforming, not because they lack ambition, but because they confuse motion with progress. The top 1% operate differently. They don't chase tasks, they chase impact. They don't ask, "How can I do more?" They ask, "What matters most?" In this chapter, you'll learn how to cut through the noise, focus on high-leverage actions, and execute with precision, just like the top performers do. Section 1. The Pareto Principle in Practice. The Pareto Principle, also known as the 80-20th rule, is simple but powerful. It says that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your actions. The top 1% don't just know this, they live by it. They constantly ask, what are the few things that generate the majority of my progress, profit, or impact? Then they double down on those and eliminate or delegate the rest. You don't need to do more to achieve more. You need to do what matters most, more often, more deeply, and more consistently. Section 2. Identifying your high-leverage actions. Let's get practical. High leverage actions are the things you do that produce disproportionate results. They might not be urgent, but they are essential. They move the needle. They solve the root problem. They compound over time. Ask yourself, what tasks deliver the most return, financially, emotionally, creatively? What actions align most directly with your vision and values? What would your future self thank you for doing today? Write those down. Then ask the harder question. What am I doing that keeps me busy, but not effective? Section 3. Busy versus strategic. Busy looks like a full calendar. Strategic looks like a clear priority. Busy says yes to everything. Strategic says yes to what matters and no to everything else. Busy is reactive. Strategic is intentional. The top 1% don't just manage their time. They manage their focus and energy around their highest return activities. They don't start with a to-do list. They start with a goal and reverse engineer it. You don't need more hours in the day. You need more clarity in your direction. Section 4. Action ROI. Think like an investor. Every action you take is an investment of time, energy, or resources. So start asking, what is the return on this action? Think like an investor. Don't just spend time, allocate it where it pays off the most. Here's a quick filter. Is this urgent or is it important? Is this reactive or is it proactive? Is this something only you can do or could it be delegated? Will this matter in 3 months or just for the next 30 minutes? Top performers don't just prioritize, they eliminate. They build systems that remove low-value decisions from their day so they can focus on the few moves that change everything. Section 5. Designing your strategic action system. Let's build your system. Step 1. Choose one goal or project that truly matters to you. Step 2. List all the tasks or actions involved in reaching it. Step 3. Identify the top 20% of actions that would create 80% of your momentum. Step 4. Block focus time for those actions, protect it like gold. Step 5. Automate, delegate, or delete the rest. This is how you execute like the top 1%. Not by doing more, but by doing what matters on purpose every day. Section 6. Closing reflections and next steps. The difference between being busy and being effective is focus. You're not here to do more. You're here to do what moves the needle. In your workbook, you'll find 2 simple yet powerful tools. First, the 80/20 time tracker to help you audit your current time usage and identify your highest return actions. Second, the action ROI matrix to rank your tasks based on impact, alignment, and payoff, so you can focus where it counts. Use these tools weekly. Let them become part of your rhythm. Because once you start executing like the 1%, you'll realize how much time you are wasting trying to do it all. Strategic action creates exponential results. Let's keep building. Chapter 10. The Power of Environment. Who and what you allow matters. Welcome to Chapter 10. You've learned how to build powerful systems, habits, and strategies from within. Now it's time to address what's happening around you. Because no matter how driven or disciplined you are still a product of your environment. The people, places, and inputs that surround you are either pushing you forward or pulling you back. Top performers know this. Willpower fades. Environment remains. In this chapter, you'll learn how to curate a performance-enhancing ecosystem that supports your vision socially, digitally, and physically. Let's get into it. Section 1. Environment is the invisible force. Most people underestimate their environment. But here's the truth. Environment beats intention. If your space is cluttered, your focus suffers. If your calendar is chaotic, your priorities disappear. If your social circle is full of doubt, drama, or distraction, your drive gets diluted. The top 1% are ruthless curators of their space. They don't leave it to chance. They design it on purpose. Why? Because they know they can't win in an environment built for average. Section 2. Digital, physical, social. Let's break down the 3 core environments you operate in. Digital environment: the content you consume, the platforms you use, the notifications you allow. Is your phone a tool or a trap? Physical environment: your workspace, your home, your surroundings. Do they energize or exhaust you, inspire or distract you? Social environment: the people you interact with daily. Do they reflect your standards, your vision, your future? Each of these layers sends constant signals to your brain. They shape how you think, what you value, and what you believe is possible. So if you want to change your life, start by changing your environment. Section 3. Curate what stays, remove what drags. Ask yourself, what people, habits, or inputs do I need to invite in? What do I need to reduce, remove, or rebuild? What drains me that I've been tolerating? Every upgrade begins with honesty. Maybe it's unfollowing accounts that promote fear or comparison. Maybe it's decluttering a space you avoid. Maybe it's setting boundaries with someone who constantly pulls you off track. You don't need to fix everything overnight, but you do need to stop normalizing what holds you back. Section 4. Surround yourself with standards. Your environment should reflect your future, not your past. That means surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, uplift you, and stretch your standards. You don't grow through comfort, you grow through exposure. Find people who think bigger, who live with intention, who speak with clarity, who act with purpose. And if you can't find them in person yet, build your digital circle first. Podcasts, books, audiobooks, courses, content. Let your environment be a mirror of your next level, not your current one. Section 5. Design for energy and execution. It's not just about what you remove, it's about what you build. Design your environment to support your focus, your energy, and your execution. That could mean a clean, minimal workspace, lighting that boosts alertness, music or sounds that trigger flow, daily visual cues of your goals, a morning playlist that sets your tone. You are the architect. Build an environment that makes success the default, not the exception. Section 6. Closing reflections and next steps. You're not just building habits, you're building conditions for high performance. And your environment is either your ally or your anchor. In your workbook, you'll find 2 practical tools. First, the High Performance Environment Audit, to review and upgrade your digital, physical, and social surroundings. Second, the Relationship Alignment Map, to clarify who supports your growth, who stretches you, and who you may need distance from. Use these tools with honesty and courage. Because once your environment starts working for you, momentum becomes effortless. Let's keep building. Chapter 11. Money Mindset of the Ultra-Wealthy. Welcome to Chapter 11. Let's talk about money. Not just how to make it, but how to think about it like the ultra-wealthy do. Because wealth isn't just about dollars in the bank. It starts in the mind. Most people are taught to chase money. The ultra-wealthy, they attract it, multiply it, and protect it with precision. Because they think about money differently. In this chapter, we're going to break free from scarcity thinking and install the mental models that build, grow, and preserve wealth at the highest levels. Let's begin. Section 1. The Scarcity Script. You were taught things about money that may no longer serve you. Phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, we can't afford that, or rich people are greedy. These beliefs sound innocent, but they install deep mental programming that keeps people stuck. Scarcity says, there's not enough. You must trade time for money. Play it safe. Stay small. Save everything. Scarcity keeps you in survival mode. It trains you to make decisions from fear, not vision. If you want to build real wealth, you must challenge the script you were handed. Section 2. The Mindset of the Ultra-Wealthy. Wealthy thinkers operate from abundance, not fear. They understand that money is a tool, not a master. Time is more valuable than money. Leverage, not labor, builds wealth. Opportunities are everywhere, but focus is everything. They don't just think about income. They think in terms of assets, equity, cash flow, and long-term value. They ask different questions. What's the ROI? What can be automated? How can I own the system, not just work in it? They play the long game. Section 3. Rewriting your money beliefs. To change your financial future, you must first change what you believe about money. Ask yourself, what were you taught about money growing up? What beliefs do you hold now that limit your financial potential? What would a wealthy thinker believe instead? Here are some shifts to install. Old belief, I have to work hard to earn money. New belief, money flows where value is created, and value can be created in leveraged, scalable ways. Old belief, if I spend money, I'll have less. New belief, investing money into the right vehicles multiplies it. Old belief, I'm bad with money. New belief, I'm learning to manage and multiply money like a pro. Your beliefs either build your wealth or block it. Section 4. Thinking in opportunity, not obstacle. Scarcity focuses on what's missing. Wealth focuses on what's possible. The ultra-wealthy ask, what assets can I create or acquire? How can I increase the lifetime value of each client or project? How can I turn this idea into something that pays me repeatedly? They don't jump at every opportunity, they filter them. This is key. Not all income is equal. Some is reactive. Some is strategic. Some gives you freedom. Some traps you in another job with a new title. The ultra-wealthy don't chase, they choose. Section 5. The power of leverage. Wealth isn't built by working harder. It's built by multiplying your effort, time, and resources through leverage. There are 4 types of leverage. People, building teams or delegating so you don't do everything. Capital, using money to create more money. Code, software, automations, and systems that work without you. Content, messages, assets, or offers that scale without more effort. The ultra-wealthy combine these intelligently. They ask, how can I remove myself from the center and still grow the outcome? This is where true financial freedom is born. Section 6. Closing reflections and next steps. Wealth is a mindset before it's a number. The way you see money determines how you earn, spend, save, and invest it. In your workbook, you'll find 2 transformative tools. First, the money belief shift sheets to identify old scripts and rewrite them with abundant, empowered thinking. Second, the opportunity filter to help you evaluate where to spend time. Energy or capital for maximum return and alignment. Use these tools to upgrade your money operating system, because once your mindset changes, your money starts moving differently. Let's keep building. Chapter 12. Building a personal power brand. Welcome to Chapter 12. Today, we shift from internal mastery to external influence. Because no matter how skilled, driven, or strategic you are, if people don't know what you bring to the table, you'll stay overlooked. The top 1% don't just build value, they market it. They craft personal brands that command attention, create trust, and attract aligned opportunities. And it's not about ego, it's about impact. A personal brand is your reputation in motion. It tells the world who you are, what you stand for, and why you're the one they've been waiting for. Let's learn how to build a power brand, one that opens doors and builds authority without you chasing anything. Section 1. What is a personal power brand? Your personal brand is not just your logo or your LinkedIn bio. It's the story people tell about you when you're not in the room. It's how they describe your energy, your message, your promise. Top performers don't leave that story to chance. They shape it intentionally. A personal power brand does 3 things. 1. Clarifies what you do and why it matters. 2. Communicates your unique edge or experience. 3. Positions you as the go-to person for your ideal audience or industry. When done right, your brand becomes your silent salesperson, building trust, credibility, and opportunity on your behalf. Section 2. Clarifying your core message. The foundation of a great brand is clarity. If you confuse, you lose. So let's get clear. Ask yourself, what problem do I help people solve? What transformation or outcome do I deliver? Why am I uniquely positioned to help? What results or experiences back up my credibility? Don't try to be everything. Get specific. A niche message builds a broad audience. A clear message builds deep trust. Section 3. Crafting your brand narrative. Storytelling is how humans connect, remember, and relate. So if you want to build a brand that resonates, tell your story powerfully. Here's a simple structure to use. 1. Origin. Where did your passion or expertise begin? 2. Shift. What challenge or insight changed your perspective? 3. Mission. What do you stand for now, and who do you help? 4. Proof. What results, wins, or stories back this up? 5. Future. What's the big vision you're inviting others into? When you tell this story well, people don't just follow you, they buy into your mission. Section 4. Stand out with positioning. In a noisy world, average blends in. Authority stands out. Your positioning is how you frame your expertise and value in a way that creates instant recognition and respect. Positioning isn't about being louder. It's about being clearer and sharper. Ask, what makes your method, message, or approach different? What are you willing to say that others won't? How does your work challenge the status quo? Your goal is to make your brand impossible to ignore, not by shouting, but by standing solidly in your lane with clarity and conviction. Section 5. Attracting opportunities through visibility. A power brand doesn't chase, it attracts. To do that, you need strategic visibility. That means showing up where your audience is already paying attention with a message that meets their moment. It could be a polished LinkedIn presence, clear storytelling on your About page, consistent, high-value content, guest speaking, podcasting, or strategic networking. Visibility isn't vanity, it's value creation at scale. When people see you consistently standing in your expertise, you build something priceless: trust. Section 6. Closing reflections and next steps. Your brand is already speaking. The question is it saying what you want it to? It's time to own your message. Craft your narrative. Position your value. Share it with clarity and confidence. In your workbook, you'll find 2 essential tools. First, the Personal Brand Builder to help you define your story, value, and positioning. Second, the Message Clarity Framework to sharpen how you communicate your expertise and attract aligned opportunities. Use these tools to build a brand that speaks before you do. Because once your brand is working for you, opportunity has a way of showing up without you having to knock. Let's keep building. Chapter 13. Mastering Influence and Leadership. Welcome to Chapter 13. Leadership isn't a title. It's a transmission. You don't have to be the CEO of a company to lead. You only need the courage to lead yourself with clarity, conviction, and purpose. The top 1% are not just high achievers. They are high-impact influencers. They shape environments, move people, and inspire action, often without saying much at all. In this chapter, we'll explore how to cultivate powerful presence, communicate with purpose, and lead like the elite, starting with you. Section 1. Influence starts with identity. Before you can lead others, you must lead yourself. Influence begins with internal alignment, when what you think, say, and do are all in harmony. People follow clarity, not noise. Ask yourself, do my actions reflect the standards I set? Do I speak from purpose or perform for approval? Do I move with intention or react from emotion? True leaders don't force. They attract. They live the message before they ever deliver it. Section 2. The Psychology of Influence. Influence isn't manipulation, it's inspiration. And it's based on key psychological principles that top leaders use every day, consciously or not. Here are 5 to study and master. 1. Authority. People follow those who demonstrate credibility and confidence. 2. Social proof, people trust what others trust. Your results, testimonials, or network amplify your voice. 3. Reciprocity, when you offer value first, people lean in. 4. Scarcity, when your time, energy, or access is limited, people respect it more. 5. Clarity, the more direct and purposeful your message, the more persuasive it becomes. When you combine these with authenticity, you don't just influence, you empower. Section 3. Communication that moves people. Leadership lives in language. You can have the best ideas in the world, but if you can't communicate them clearly and compellingly, they go nowhere. Elite leaders speak with simplicity, strength, and service. Here's how. Speak to vision, not just tasks. Ask questions that provoke reflection, not just answers. Use stories to connect, not just facts to convince. Listen more than you speak, but when you speak, make it count. Leadership is often less about having the right answers and more about asking the right questions. Section 4. Leading through presence. Presence is the silent language of leadership. It's how you enter a room, how you carry yourself, how people feel after being around you. You don't need to be the loudest, you need to be the most grounded. Here's what builds magnetic presence. Eye contact and open body language. Calm tone and steady breath. Full attention, not checking your phone while nodding. Certainty in your energy, even when you don't have all the answers. When your energy says, I belong here, others feel it and follow. Section 5. Leadership as service. Leadership is not about control, it's about responsibility. The best leaders ask, how can I serve the mission? How can I elevate the room? How can I model the standard? They lead through service, not status. They don't crave followers, they create leaders. And they know that the first person they must lead every day is themselves. Section 6. Closing reflections and next steps. You are always leading something. Your energy, your vision, your decisions, your example. You don't need a bigger platform. You need deeper alignment. In your workbook, you'll find 2 tools to help. First, the Influence Blueprint to strengthen your leadership psychology, message, and presence. Second, the Communication Audit to refine how you speak, listen, and lead in every interaction. Use them to step into the version of you that others trust, follow, and remember. Because leadership isn't given. It's earned by how you show up when no one's watching. Let's keep building. Chapter 14. Energy Management, the Hidden Success Multiplier. Welcome to Chapter 14. You've mastered mindset, habits, identity, and strategy. But there's one force that amplifies or erodes them all. Your energy. Energy is the invisible currency that fuels your focus, your consistency, and your results. And yet, most people treat it like an afterthought. Top performers don't just manage time, they manage energy, because time without energy is useless. A 60-minute task with low energy takes 3 hours, but with high energy, takes 20 focused minutes and feels effortless. This chapter is about building, protecting, and directing your energy with intention so you can perform consistently at your highest level. Let's begin. Section 1. Energy over time. We've been trained to obsess over schedules, productivity hacks, and to-do lists. But what truly separates the 1% isn't just what they do, it's how they manage what fuels what they do. Ask yourself, when during the day do I have the most energy? What drains me the fastest? What restores me most effectively? The goal is not to do more. It's to do what matters when your energy is at its peak. Start tracking your energy, not just your hours. Section 2. The 4 types of energy. To build sustainable performance, you must optimize across 4 energy domains. 1. Physical energy, sleep, nutrition, movement, hydration. Your body is your foundation. If you neglect it, everything else suffers. 2. Mental energy, focus, clarity, cognitive sharpness. What you think about and how you process information determines your effectiveness. 3. Emotional energy. Your mood, resilience, and emotional state. Positive emotions expand capacity. Negative emotions constrict it. 4. Spiritual energy. Your sense of purpose, meaning, and alignment. This is the deepest layer. When you feel on mission, energy becomes renewable. Which of these do you currently invest in the least? Start there. Section 3. The energy leaks. Before you add energy boosters, you need to plug the leaks. Here are common energy drains most people tolerate. Toxic relationships. Endless decision fatigue. Digital overstimulation. Poor sleep hygiene. Lack of boundaries. Unfinished commitments. Every open loop in your life is an open tab in your brain. Audit where your energy is leaking and commit to closing those gaps. Section 4. The energy builders. Now that you've cleared the clutter, it's time to build energy rituals. Here are simple but powerful ways to charge your system. Morning sunlight and movement to set your circadian rhythm. Regular breaks to reset your brain. High quality hydration and whole foods. 7 to 9 hours of consistent, quality sleep, breathwork, meditation. Or stillness practices. Time with people who light you up. Doing work that aligns with your strengths. Don't wait until you're drained to recharge. Build recovery into your schedule like it's non-negotiable, because it is. Section 5. Energy mastery equals performance mastery. Energy management is the new productivity. When your energy is high, problems shrink. Decisions are sharper. Confidence rises. Creativity flows. Low energy creates fake problems. Small tasks feel huge. Your brain fogs. You lose your edge. High performers guard their energy like elite athletes. They don't let low-level tasks, people, or patterns consume their peak state. They build systems, habits, and boundaries around their energy because they know everything flows from there. Section 6. Closing reflections and next steps. If time is finite, energy is flexible, and your energy, when optimized, multiplies everything you touch. In your workbook, you'll find 2 practical tools. First, the Energy Flow Planner, to map your natural rhythms, optimize tasks, and align your schedule with your energy peaks. Second, the Burnout Protection Checklist, to help you identify warning signs. Reset your capacity and protect your momentum long-term. Don't just manage your schedule, manage the force that powers it. Your energy is your edge. Let's keep building. Chapter 15. Strategic Networking, Relationships that Scale You. Welcome to Chapter 15. If success is a ladder, your relationships are the rungs. You can climb alone, slowly, painfully, or you can build the right relationships and scale exponentially faster. The most successful people don't just collect contacts. They build strategic alliances, value-driven collaborations, and high-leverage relationships that open doors and multiply results. In this chapter, we'll explore how to network like the 1% with clarity, confidence, and intention. Because who you know matters, but who knows you, respects you, and refers you. That changes everything. Let's begin. Section 1. Relationships as leverage. Your network is not just a list of names. It's a dynamic ecosystem of opportunity, value, and reputation. Top performers don't network for vanity. They network for value. They understand this truth. Every connection either amplifies or dilutes your direction. So instead of chasing popularity, they build proximity to people who challenge their thinking, share aligned values, operate at the next level, open doors they can't open alone. Your network can fast-track access to capital, information, credibility, and new opportunities if you build it intentionally. Section 2. Quality over quantity. You don't need 100 people in your corner, just the right 10. Strategic networking means depth over width. It's not about how many hands you shake. It's about how much value you exchange. Ask yourself, who in my current circle is a mutual growth partner? Who drains energy or offers little alignment? Who do I admire and want to learn from, but haven't reached out to yet? Start upgrading the quality of your circle by upgrading the quality of your conversations. Section 3. Intentional network design. It's time to move from accidental networking to strategic relationship building. Here's how to design your ideal network. 1. Map it. Identify 3 to 5 categories of people you want in your world. Think mentors, peers, collaborators, gatekeepers, or rising stars. 2. Audit it. Where are the current gaps? Who's missing that could elevate your vision? 3. Prioritize it. Don't chase everyone. Choose a few connections to go deep with over time. Remember, the best relationships are built slowly through trust, value, and shared momentum. Section 4. How to connect authentically. Reaching out doesn't have to feel awkward, transactional, or self-serving. When done well, networking becomes service, not self-promotion. Here's a simple formula for authentic outreach. 1. Start with resonance. What do you genuinely admire or appreciate about this person? 2. Offer value. A compliment, a resource, a perspective, or even a question can be valuable. 3. Be human. Don't pitch. Relate, lead with curiosity, not with your credentials. 4. Follow up, build relationships through consistent connection, not one-off messages. Use your voice. Use your story. Use your attention. That's how people feel seen and relationships begin. Section 5. Circles that scale you. Look around. Are you in rooms where you're the most driven person? If yes, it's time to upgrade your environment. Growth accelerates in the presence of challenge and contribution. Look for masterminds that stretch your perspective, events that attract high-caliber leaders, digital communities where your message resonates. And remember, you don't just want access, you want alignment. The right circles don't just elevate your thinking. They unlock collaborations, partnerships, and platforms. Section 6. Closing reflections and next steps. Your network is your net worth, but not in a shallow, transactional way. It's your ability to build trust, add value, and stay connected to people who help you rise while you do the same for them. In your workbook, you'll find 2 essential tools. First, the network mapping tool to clarify who's in your circle, where your gaps are, and who you're ready to connect with. Second, the connection scripts to make your outreach warm, real, and well-received. Use these tools to build a network that scales your influence, your income, and your impact. Because success isn't built in isolation. Let's keep building together. Chapter 16. Resilience and Recovery. Bouncing back like a champion. Welcome to Chapter 16. Let's talk about what happens when the plan breaks, the pressure spikes, or life throws the unexpected your way. Because no matter how smart, strategic, or successful you become, you will face setbacks. You will hit walls. You will get tired, discouraged, even derailed. But here's the truth. It's not what happens to you. It's what you do next that counts. The top 1% don't avoid adversity. They rise through it. In this chapter, you'll learn how to build elite resilience and recovery systems so you can bounce back stronger, clearer, and faster. Let's begin. Section 1. What resilience really is. Resilience is not just grit or hustle. It's not pushing through until you break. Real resilience is the ability to bend without breaking, to adapt without losing your core, to reset, recharge, and re-enter the game smarter and stronger. Top performers see adversity as a mirror, not a stop sign. They don't spiral, they recalibrate. They don't shrink, they reframe. And most of all, they don't stay down. They bounce back. Section 2. The Resilience Mindset. How you think about setbacks shapes how you handle them. Resilient leaders use reframes like, "This isn't happening to me, it's happening for me." "This is feedback, not failure." "This is part of the process, not the end of the path." The 1% expect resistance. They train for it. They prepare their minds to stay calm under chaos, not because they're emotionless, but because they've practiced how to respond. Section 3. The 4 dimensions of resilience. Resilience isn't just mental. It has 4 key components. 1. Mental resilience, the ability to focus, reframe, and stay solution-oriented. 2. Emotional resilience, the ability to feel fully without getting stuck, to process emotion without being ruled by it. 3. Physical resilience, how quickly your body recovers from stress, effort, or fatigue. 4. Spiritual resilience, staying anchored in purpose when circumstances shake your confidence. Where are you strong right now? Where do you need to fortify? Your bounce-back power lives in the balance between these 4. Section 4. Designing your bounce-back blueprint. Every top performer has a comeback protocol, even if they don't call it that. It's a repeatable system they follow when life knocks them down. Now it's your turn to create one. Ask yourself, when I'm off my game, what signs show up first? What routines or tools help me reset fastest? Who do I reach out to when I need grounding? What beliefs bring me back into power? Create a ritual or checklist that acts as your recovery blueprint. This is what you'll turn to when your energy dips, your mindset cracks, or your momentum slows. Section 5. Recovery is a skill. High performance isn't about doing more. It's about recovering faster. Top athletes know this. So do elite entrepreneurs, creators, and changemakers. The faster you recover emotionally, mentally, physically, the faster you return to flow. So instead of asking, how hard can I push? Ask, how well can I recover? Build your recovery rituals now, not just for burnout, but for longevity. Think daily resets, journaling, breathwork, walking, unplugging. Weekly resets, longer rest, disconnection, reflection, monthly resets, creative space, mentorship, nature, travel. Recovery fuels resilience, and resilience sustains performance. Section 6. Closing reflections and next steps. You're going to fall. You're going to fail. You're going to feel overwhelmed at times. That's not the problem. That's the path. The question is, will you bounce back or stay stuck? In your workbook, you'll find 2 tools. First, the Resilience Routine Builder to design your bounce-back rituals and responses. Second, the Recovery Scorecard to audit how well you're replenishing and strengthening your energy over time. Build your resilience before you need it. Because champions aren't made in comfort. They're revealed in the comeback. Let's keep building. Chapter 17. The Legacy Mindset. Think beyond the finish line. Welcome to Chapter 17. This chapter isn't about the next win. It's about what happens after. It's about moving from success to significance. Because no matter how much you accomplish, money, status, freedom, the question will eventually shift from what can I get to what will I leave behind. That shift isn't a finish line, it's a new beginning. Let's explore how the top 1% think about legacy, impact, and the deeper meaning of their work. Section 1. What legacy really means. Legacy isn't just what people say about you when you're gone. It's how people live because you were here. It's not the highlight reel, it's the ripple effect. Legacy isn't reserved for billionaires or celebrities. You build it every day in how you show up, serve, and shape the world around you. The top 1% live in alignment with their future memory. They ask, if someone else told my story, what would I want them to say? Section 2. From success to significance. Success is about achievement. Legacy is about contribution. Success serves you. Legacy serves others. It's easy to get caught in the chase, numbers, followers, goals, milestones. But the question that shifts everything is this: what impact do I want to make with the time I've been given? The people who play the long game think in decades, not days. They reverse engineer a life that means something beyond their own gain. And they live in a way that multiplies value for others, not just themselves. Section 3. Defining your impact. Your legacy doesn't have to be loud, but it should be lived. Take a moment and reflect. Who do you most want to serve, help, or inspire? What pain or problem do you feel uniquely equipped to solve? What message, idea, or movement would you stand behind for decades? What do you want to be remembered for? Not in fame, but in feeling. These aren't abstract questions, they're directional compasses. When you start defining your impact, your decisions change. What you tolerate changes. What you pursue shifts. What you build begins to take form. Section 4. The legacy mindset in daily life. Living your legacy isn't just about end-of-life impact. It's about how you lead, serve, and create right now. Legacy-minded people think beyond themselves, even in everyday decisions. Prioritize depth over speed, truth over trends. Lift others as they climb, without expecting applause. Align their calendar with their contribution, not just their convenience. Play the long game and leave things better than they found them. You don't need more time, you need more intention. Section 5. Designing a life of impact. It's time to shift from passively hoping you'll leave a legacy to actively designing one. Here's a simple way to begin. 1. Clarify your cause. What problem, community, or mission lights you up? 2. Define your impact goals. What do you want to create, support, or contribute to in the next 5 to 10 years? 3. Build your contribution habits. How can you integrate legacy thinking into your daily routines? 4. Elevate others. Who can you mentor, uplift, or equip along the way? 5. Document and share. Write your ideas, lessons, and stories. Share your values. Build something that lives beyond you. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to start. Section 6. Closing reflections and next steps. You've spent this audiobook building a life that few ever create, with clarity, conviction, and consistency. Now, take it further. Build a life that outlives you. In your workbook, you'll find 2 tools. First, the Legacy Vision Map to clarify your long-term impact, values, and contributions. Second, the Impact Goal Planner to break that vision into meaningful actions you can start now. Because the ultimate win is not just what you build, it's what you leave behind that builds others. Let's keep building with legacy in mind. Conclusion. Your top 1% life starts now. You made it. All the way to the end, and yet, this is only the beginning. You've just completed a journey that most people never dare to start. You've broken down old definitions of success. You've installed new beliefs. You've elevated your habits, expanded your vision, and reconnected to who you truly are. That's not just progress. That's transformation. And it didn't come from information alone. It came from your commitment. You showed up, chapter after chapter, to think deeper, act bolder, and live fuller. You are not the same person who began this audiobook, and that's something worth celebrating. So pause, take a breath, and let that sink in. You've unlocked the tools, mindset, and momentum to build your top 1% life. Not someday, but starting now. You've learned to think like a visionary, to act with ruthless focus, to bounce back like a champion, to lead, connect, and create with purpose. And above all, you've chosen growth, not as a phase, but as a way of life. What comes next? You apply it. Because knowledge without action is potential left on the table. So go back through your favorite lessons. Revisit the workbook exercises. Create your 90-day action plan using the final chapter tools, and then begin again. Your transformation isn't linear, it's layered. And every time you return to this material, you'll find something new, because you'll be someone new. And you don't have to do it alone. We invite you to join our growing community of purpose-driven humans who are walking this path together. Come share your insights, your breakthroughs, your challenges, and your wins. Let's celebrate each other. Let's challenge each other. Let's grow together. Your voice matters. Your journey matters. And your contribution makes us all stronger. You can find all the chapter workbooks 100% free to deepen your growth. And if this audiobook impacted you, consider supporting the ongoing creation of content like this. Every contribution, big or small, helps us reach more people who need this message. And finally, share this. Pass it on to a friend, a colleague, a community that's ready to rise. Be the ripple. Because when one person activates their potential, it gives permission for others to do the same. Thank you for listening. Thank you for choosing yourself. Thank you for showing up. This is the start of your top 1% life. Let's go build it.